guys, the Super Review Show for another My Thoughts on video. This is my thoughts, the title of this video suggests, my thoughts on the band Motley Crue. Now, for those of you who have not watched me for any period of time or listened to us on Mixed Bag or Career Retrospectives, I am not a fan of this band, Motley Crue. I understand that they are super popular. I understand that they are one of the hottest hair metal bands of the 80s. I get all that. I'm not a fan of them whatsoever. Now, your opinion is no more valid than mine. Mine might be an unpopular opinion, but then again, welcome to Unpopular Opinions on Mixed Bag, our very first episode of Mixed Bag, just saying. Motley Crue. I am not a fan of them whatsoever. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of their guitar sounds. I'm not a fan of them, their lyric writing. I'm not a fan of them not maturing as an artist. Like, you would think, like, over time, like, just really quick. So, a couple things. Lyric writing, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm not a fan of their lyrics. The title, the Girls, Girls, Girls is an epitome of this for me. I'm not a fan of that song at all. I'm not a fan of any of their songs, really. I don't really like them, truthfully. I'm not a fan of that song in particular because, I mean, I feel like in today, it didn't really have any long-lasting longevity. Even on rock radio, it was like, oh, it's girls, 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 whatever, right? But I feel like the world, especially in today's context of 2023, I feel like the world has kind of like gotten past that whole hard-driving, super hard rock, hair metal vibe of like girls, 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 like sex, 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 left and right. I'm not a fan of it. It's just, to me, it's very, very degrading of women, truthfully. And I know I sound like, I don't care how I sound right now. I'm giving you my thoughts on Motley Crue. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. That's just my thoughts. I think it degrades women. I think that Motley Crue is a very overrated band. Truthfully, I've never liked them. The moment I heard music and I heard their hair metal genre stuff like Def Leppard, Rat Poison, later Joan Jett stuff, Bon Jovi, and Motley Crue, and I'm just not a fan of this band. They always stuck out to me as like we're the best thing ever. Like they have like an effete attitude with them. I never liked them whatsoever. And even in their later years, like the Saints of Los Angeles, like you're 58 or 59, you're in your late 50s, early 60s, if not your 60s at this point in your career, and you're putting out an album called The Saints of Los Angeles. Come back and talk to me when they have a better title for their title track of their song, of their album, and it's a lot better than that. I mean, that's terrible. Like, you could at least be a little more mature and be like, all right, we're going to go in this direction. We're going to write about a fast car. We're going to write rock and roll. Whatever. I don't care what it is. Just write something that's not stupid, for lack of a better word. Anyways, lyric writing, not a fan of. The drop D tuning, for those guitar nerds out there, drop D tuning on guitar. Change your guitar tune. I am not a fan of this. They all sound the same. Every single Motley Crue song sounds the same. Even their grunge album sounds the same as all their 80s stuff, truthfully. That's how much I'm not a fan of them. Not a fan of this band. I want to shed some light on something really quick about them. And this is like my thoughts on what happened with them recently. Nikki Sixx and Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. By the way, Pearl Jam is a great band. Pearl Jam is one of the reasons why Motley Crue doesn't exist on many other lists right now in general. They basically killed them off. So they had that going against them, right? But hear me out for a sec. Hear me out. Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam said at one point something along the lines of, I'm not a fan of how, because when Pearl Jam was first forming, he's like, I'm not a fan of how this band is like epitomizing sex and epitomizing women as sexual objects when a woman should be a woman instead of like, he had a much more optimistic outlook on life than a lot of the members of Motley Crue over the years have or ever had. And Nikki Sixx, his exact words, if I'm not mistaken, who replied to him was, well, your band is boring. Like, to me, that's just so arrogant, so childish, and so stupid. First off, there are literally millions of bands out there in the world. Literally millions. And you're going to have two of the biggest of their genre bicker and argue over something like that. Personally, I understand where Vedder's coming from. I understand where Nikki Sixx is coming from too. I understand that like Pearl Jam is not everyone's cup of tea. Motley Crue is not everyone's cup of tea. It's not just it's understandable. I will say though, I do agree with Eddie Vedder's comments though, because if you listen to Girls, it's about sex and it's about strip clubs, and I understand that those types of songs are there. I understand that those types of lyrics are there, but they didn't age. They're a product of their time, and they're quite frankly childish. Like, there are so many other great songs from the 80s that I can think of that are not just hair metal, but just in general that are better lyrically than Girls. It's a silly, very stupid song. I'm not a fan of any of their songs. For a while, I was like, yeah, Kickstart My Heart, Dr. Feelgood. I understand, Home Sweet Home, or even Take Me to the Top. Stupid songs beyond belief. I'm not a fan of I'm just not a fan of that. And their whole mantra is like, we're the baddest band on the planet. Really? You can't sell out Madison Square Garden. You can't sell out the Forum in LA. I'm sorry. You're the baddest band alive. Give me a break. Not a fan. They did retire. They came back. They did a tour with Def Leppard as well in 2022. Called the Stadium Tour. Now it's going to be the World Tour this year in 2023, and they're out of retirement. They're doing it for the money. Vince Neil sounds like crap nowadays, and it's not just because I'm not one of these people where I honestly I did not go to the show because Motley Crue was performing. I would have gone had they not had Motley Crue on that bill. I would have not gone. I would have gone if they had not had them on. I will say that. That being said, I saw a video from the show that I went to from a friend of mine who did go. He said that they drained out Vince Neil's voice. He sounds terrible now, barely hitting the notes, his voice is shot. He's like, Kickstart My Heart. Literally, he sounds like that. It's sad. Not even just upsetting, it's just sad. It's depressing that someone who had a great voice, I'm not trying to knock him. His voice back then, it was great. He had a very rich, powerful voice, very perfect for their genre, I get it. But he sounds terrible now. And I think he's COVID too, whatever. I don't know. It's beyond me. But and so Nikki Sixx has kind of become like an asshat to an extent. He's just like, Pearl, like the whole Pearl Jam thing threw me off. I'm like, literally, you're like the way that it was. Like, Pearl Jam is boring. I'm sorry. The song, was it Black or Alive off Pearl Jam's debut, 10? It's about Eddie Vedder finding out his father's not his real father. That's pretty dark, moving stuff. Girls, give me a break. Stupid band. I cannot believe. I will never say the word hate. I'm not a fan. I will call it stupid when it's stupid, though. This is a stupid band. They have so many stupid lyrics. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to all the 5 of you at home. Be like, well, why is he saying that? I understand that. I understand that you might be upset. But I am not a fan, and I'm not afraid to share my opinion. Your opinion is no more valid than mine. But what pisses me off, though, sometimes when people are like, well, your opinion is wrong, or opinions cannot be wrong. Opinions are opinions. Facts are facts. For instance, let me say, the sky is blue. That is a fact. This table that I'm recording on is a table. It's not a bench, it's a table. That's a fact. That counter looks dirty to me. It's not a fact. That's, it's clean. That's an opinion. Motley Crue, I am not a fan of. They are such an overrated band to me, and I cannot stand some of their stuff that they do. So, honestly, all their stuff. Take Me to the Top is terrible. Girls, Home Sweet Home, all terrible. Kickstart My Heart, probably one of the most overplayed anthemic songs out there. Not a fan. So, anyways, I don't want to go off too much, but those are just my thoughts on Motley Crue as a band. If you know what I'm talking about, good for you. Listen, are you a fan of Motley Crue? Are you not a fan of Motley Crue? Jump down in the comment section below, share your thoughts on this as well. I'd love to hear you guys have to say about this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications for much more. But for all of your my thoughts and videos and many more, keep it locked on the Super Review Show. J-Man is off to rock. We'll see you guys later.